So what do women want most at the highest level, attraction-wise, relationship-wise, in their dating life? Really what they want, a woman wants a player who she can tame. And so in a sense, she wants a very paradoxical and impossible thing, because the more of a player a guy is, the more value he has, the more options he has with girls, the less interested he is in being tamed and committed to one girl. She has to be a very, very special girl for him to give up all the other girls for her. And yet that's exactly every girl's fantasy. She wants to be that special one, the one for whom he gave up all the other girls. Now, will she get that? Maybe she will. Actually, most players end up settling down at some point. They get it out of their system. After they do it for 5 or 10 years, they get it out of their system, and they do end up settling down and getting married or getting a long-term girlfriend. So it's certainly possible for women to tame a player, but the odds, of course, are against you, because let's say a player sleeps with 50 girls and he settles down with only one of them. Of course, he can only settle down with one, so that's a 1 in 50 chance that you have as a girl. Not very good odds. So girls play this sort of dangerous game. They're very much attracted to players, even though they don't like admitting it. And then they convince themselves that they can tame the player, and whether they can or not is, you know, up for grabs. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. It's really not very wise to think you can tame a player, unless you're also bringing a lot to the table. Unless you're truly an extraordinary girl, then watch out. And of course, players abuse this power. We'll be talking about that at the end of the episode, is how this power is abused, because that's important to talk about. So what I recommend, though, you do, your strategy is to, if you're a nice guy, if you're sort of the typical nice guy, actually develop yourself into more of a player, learn how to set the player frame, which will get women attracted to you quickly and will get them sleeping with you quickly. Because one of the most paradoxical aspects of game that you'll learn is that if you set the boyfriend frame, it's going to take her longer to sleep with you. It's going to take her 3 dates to sleep with you. If you set the player frame, she'll sleep with you on the same night. Now, this is completely counterintuitive, because you would think it would be the opposite. You would think like, well, a girl should be able to sense that the guy is a player, and therefore she should avoid him. No, it actually works the opposite. Because see, when she thinks that, oh, this is a boyfriend guy, he's going to be my long-term boyfriend material sort of guy, now she's like, oh, I got to be extra careful. I don't want to appear too slutty. I got to go really slow. We got to build this thing up, you know, properly. But when she's with a player guy and she knows he's just a player guy, it's all just for fun. It's like, oh, sure, okay, yeah, we can sleep together tonight. It's just, we're just having fun and we're partying. Nothing serious is going to happen from this. So he's not going to judge me and I'm not going to judge myself. And that's it. We'll sleep together. I'll forget about him. And that's it. Very, very counterintuitive. And many women will not admit this to themselves. But this is actually how it works. It's, I mean, I would love if it worked the opposite way. It would be easier for me if it worked the opposite way. It would be easier for nice guys if it worked the opposite, but it doesn't. So anyways, what I recommend is that actually fulfill her deepest fantasy. Become the player, adopt some of the qualities of the player, and then when you find the right girl, you're going to end up settling down with her, at least for some while. And then she can feel that she tamed you, and she can feel really special for that. And that will fulfill her deepest fantasy. And at the same time, you're not just going to be this scummy player who has nothing else going in his life, but, you know, chasing girls. You're going to have all these other things in your life that you've developed and built. So really, you're going to be working twice as hard here as a guy. You're going to be working twice as hard, maybe even 4 times as hard, in order to develop both capacities. You're going to develop the capacities of the provider guy, the long-term relationship guy, and the capacities of the player. And you're going to develop that flexibility to kind of jump between the two as appropriate. Really, on the front end, you want to wear the player frame. And on the back end, once she's attracted to you, then you can do the more provider frame. And then you kind of get the best of both worlds. And she will be the happiest with that situation. And you will too. But it takes like 4 times as much work, which is why it's rare. And also because it's rare, it's valuable. And she's going to see that value at some point once you attract her.